Yeah, what's going on, fam? It's your man VACAY-J, and we are back with another video for Tyler Perry's Ruthless family. One of the funniest episodes. Let's get right into it. So where do we leave off? We left off where your boy River was hiding behind the stool, and Elder Mother Marva caught him. So she's like, "What are you doing here? Answer me. What are you here for? Why are you hiding? Well, you're waiting, you're looking at me, what's going on?" And he's like, hey, how you doing? Hey, I was just hiding because, I was trying to muster up, just the courage. He's like, huh? Yeah, the courage for what, boy? Huh? You been looking at me, huh? I know you've been looking at me. He's like, yeah, I've been looking at you, and I was mustering the courage to tell you how much I love you and how you're taking care of the highest. He's like, "No, you're not. You're lying. I know you're lying." "No, I'm not lying. I really, really like you. I'm attracted to you." And all of a sudden, River grabs Elder Mother Marva by the breasts, both breasts in his hand. And she's like, "Oh, what are you doing? Let me go. Let me go." He's like, "No, I love older women. I just been dying to tell you." And she's like, "Let me go, boy. Let me go. Are you crazy?" And he is continuing to grab Elder Mother's breasts. And she is so shocked. Looked at her face. "Oh my God, this is hilarious. Oh my God, let me go." And look at River's face. He's like, yeah, come here, girl, come here. So then she proceeds to grab his sausage. And she says, "Your magic stick is not even up." And he's like, "No, it is. And she's like, "It is?" She's like, "Well, that's it. That's all." So she's like, "That's all to it? Like, it's supposed to be hard? You're lying to me. What are you doing? Why are you touching me? Did Ruth put you up to this?" And he's like, "No. She's like, "You know what? Now it's time to go down and show me what you're really made of." So your boy River goes down on Elder Mother Marva. She's picking her teeth like, right? So she's like, "Get up, boy. That was terrible. It was the worst." He's like, "I never did this before." She's like, "It's obvious. Did Ruth put you up to this? Did she?" He's like, No. I really, really like you." And she's like, "Why you crying, boy?" And I'm thinking he's crying because Elder Mother's snatch probably smells like old onions or something like that. So she's like, get out of here. And she's thinking maybe Ruth put him up to this, right? So Ruth rolls up on Bridget. And she's like, "What's going on? Why are you crying?" She's like, "I knew he was terrible. He's a scumbag. Lewis, he's been cheating on me. And I'm going to tell everybody." And Ruth is like, "What?" And she goes, whoosh, and she slaps Bridget like, "What? Like, who you think you talking to?" And she's calling her Ruth and not calling her Elder Mother. She's like, "I'm an Elder Mother." She's like, "Don't slap me again. I'm going to tell everybody. I'm going to go tell the highest and tell them everything." And she's like, "What? You're going to do what? What do you think you're going to do? You're going to tell the highest, huh? What makes you think he's going to believe the likes of you?" "Well, I'm going to tell him, and I'm going to tell Daikon the whole entire plan." And she's like, oh, you can see on Ruth's face. She's like, oh, this girl don't know. She has no idea who she's talking to. She's talking trash right in front of me. And Bridget's like, yeah, as I'm going to shut this whole thing down. Watch, I'm telling you, Ruth, I'm going to tell on everybody, tell the whole plan, because I know the whole plan, because Lewis tells me everything. And watch, all you guys are going down. This thing is going to burn down, right? And Ruth proceeds to start to kick that ass, boy. Bridget, you just are going to get an ass whooping for free, right? So your girl, Ruth, is going in, and Bridget is screaming, and Lewis is like, "Yo, stop, what's going on here? Your girl, I told you, is going to mess up the plan. She told me I'm going to the highest and telling the highest about our plan. I told you to keep your mouth shut." Like getting all up in Lewis's face like, "See, I told you your girl was going to mess up, and now she told me I'm snitching and all of this and that." He's like, "All right, hold on. She's not going to do it." He's trying to calm her down. He's trying to calm down the situation. But she's like, "You know what, man? You better control your chicks because we can't mess up this plan, right?" So she's like, "Bridget, you ain't never been to the punishment trailer? We're going right now." So your girl, Ruth, is giving out the ass whoopings for free. She's dragging your girl Bridget across the campus right into the punishment trailer, and Lewis is following behind like, oh my God, what is going on, right? So nobody's looking, so your girl brings it in. She's like, Lewis, get out. Get out right now. Just go, man. Just go, because I'm about to do my thing to make sure she don't say nothing to nobody. So Ruth is commanding the scene. She is commanding everyone. Ties up your girl, Bridget. She's like, what? You gonna say what? And then she proceeds to whip on your girl. Like, oh, you ain't know. You didn't know? And you know Ruth is really good with the whip, boy. So she is proceeding to whip Bridget. Like, you gonna tell what? You gonna tell who? And she's like, she's all screaming. I'm like, damn, yo, Ruth is wild. She's like, you ain't gonna say nothing, right? And she's like, no, I'm not gonna say nothing. But Ruth continues on, and your boy outside is like, dang, like, and you can hear the screams and all of that from the trailer, right? So meanwhile, you got Peter and Manny, and they're in the other punishment trailer, and they hear all the screams from Bridget, and Ruth just whipping. And your boy Malcolm's like, see, you hear that, right? You hear that. And he's really trying to get into Peter's mind, and I think it's working slowly but surely. You know he's an FBI agent. He knows how to manipulate as well. So he's like, see, that's going to be you, man. You know what I'm saying? You're going to get whipped like that. And, you know, Peter's looking up like, man, this sounds crazy, right? He's like, listen, man, all we got to do is get up out of here. I can help you get out of here. Come on, man. He's still working on Peter. Peter's still like, I'm not trying to hear you, but he's wearing Peter down to help them escape, right? So here we are. We're in the black van, and your boy's complaining. Oh, man, I missed the rose. I missed the rose. This is so uncomfortable. When are we going to get there? And, you know, Daikana, of course, kissing his ass. Yeah, you deserve it. You deserve it. So we're looking at Joan, and the highest is like, are you okay? You know, Joan, are you all right? Were you crying? You know, what's going on? Like, you know, he's very concerned about Joan because Joan looks upset. Of course, after that conversation of Daikon accusing her of possibly stealing that $1 million, and she's just like looking at Daikon, and she's just like, you know, I was crying because I love you so much. And I just want to serve the Raku and serve you, highest, right? So she's looking at Daikon while the highest is looking at her. Like, she could easily just tell the highest, he accused me of stealing the money. So Daikon is just being quiet. Like, I ain't gonna say nothing. I hope she don't snitch. I hope she don't try to get me in trouble. But she didn't. And she just said, yes, you know, I really want us to, you know, help the campus and help the Raku. And then she puts on her glasses like, see, I didn't snitch on you, Daikon. I could have got your ass in trouble, Daikon, but I didn't, okay? I just let the highest know that I really appreciate being here. You know, that's just the look that she's giving, you know, and the highest is like, yes, you're loyal. You're very loyal. And Daikon's like, yeah, you're very loyal, right? So she didn't rat Daikon out. And the highest is like, see, we have loyal people with us. And Joan is one of the most loyal people. And of course, Joan, she's playing a role like, like, yes, your highest. Meanwhile, she got a bank account with $1 million in it stolen from him. Here we are with the ladies, Lacey and Insane Zane, folding clothes and like, yeah, you know, we still got to get out of here. And yeah, I spoke to Manny. And, you know, your girl Lacey, again, barking orders to Zane, like, well, I mean, you need to get with another guard. Who else could it be? What about that guy Lewis? And she's like, no, he has his own problems going on and all of this and that, right? So, again, it's trying to devise this plan so they can get away, mess with as many guards as they can so they can get these people in the pocket. Here comes Laura like, hey, what's going on, guys? Like, she's super happy. Of course, she's clear. She doesn't have the stuff in her. And she's like, yeah, I just found out from Ruth that, you know, my husband got away and he overpowered the guard and he's going to go to his father. His father is a senator. So now Laura is telling Lacey and Zane that, yes, my husband, his father's a senator, and yes, they're going to come and rescue us. So they're on the way. Of course, Lacey is looking happy. She's smiling right now like, oh, I can't wait. But Insane Zane is like, I don't believe it. She doesn't believe it. She's like, are you sure? And they also talked about Paula. So for them to mention Paula, that Paula get away and everything, maybe we'll see Paula again. But Laura's trying to reassure everybody that, listen, Aaron's not going to go to the sheriff, and they tell her that the sheriff is down with the Raku, and he's going to go to his father. Meanwhile, back at the punishment trailer, your girl Ruth is still whipping up on Bridget. Like, you better not say anything. I mean, it has to be 100 lashes at this point. And she's like, listen, I'm telling you right now, you better never, ever say anything and address me the proper way. I'm going to send a girl to come and get you loose. And you better not say nothing or you'll be back in here and I'm going to be whipping that ass. It's hilarious, family. So your girl Ruth leaves out and Bridget, I believe she has learned a lesson. Hopefully she doesn't say anything, right? So she's out of here. She goes to Lewis and said, yo, man, I'm telling you right now, you better control your chick. Because if she messes this up for everybody, I'm going to take both of y'all out, right? So, Ruth is not playing. She is that bottom B. She is that street chick. And she is all about making sure that they get the money, they get her children. She gets, Tally's kid and Callie and get up out of there. So Lewis is like, yo, she's not going to say anything. I guarantee she's not going to say anything. He's like, all right, whatever. So Ruth leaves out of the punishment trailer and here comes River. What do you want, River? What's going on? Well, I just left the kitchen. And, Elder Mother Marva tried to come on to me and all of this and that, right? So she's like, well, it is what it is, right? He's like, yeah, she made me do it. So now he's still trying to get food to take out Peter. So he's asking Ruth to get the food from Elder Mother Marva so he can poison Peter and take him out. But he also tells her that Elder Mother Marva was talking about taking out the baby. So Ruth figures out that, yes, Elder Mother's going to try to poison her. So she says, I'm going to handle it. So he's like tasting his tongue and whatever. And he's like, ugh, like, because he went down on Elder Mother Marva. He's like, oh my God, this was just disgusting, right? So here we are back in the kitchen. And your girl is making that poisonous sandwich for Ruth, right? Like, when did Ruth start eating sandwiches anyway? I don't know. But she is really focused on making sure she makes that proper poison sandwich. So here comes Ruth. Hey, Elder Mother, how you doing? She's like, oh, I'm doing fine today. Yes, I'm making a sandwich. I'm actually making a sandwich for you. She's like, really? Why would you make a sandwich for me? All of a sudden now you're making sandwiches for me? Like, what's going on? Oh, well, the highest told me I must be nice to you, because you're having the baby and everything. And I've got to be nice to you. She's like, really? Okay, that's very nice of you. That's wonderful. We started off on the wrong foot. I don't know why we keep fighting. She's like, I don't know either, and they're really playing each other at this point, going back and forth like, yeah, being all nice, but really being fake to each other because Ruth is on to Elder Mother trying to poison her to take out the baby that's not even there, right? Like, she doesn't have a baby, but at the same time, she's trying to get this food for River to give to Peter. She's like, okay, well, thank you for the sandwich. I'm going to go to the highest and we're going to share the sandwich. And she's like, no, I just made it specially for you. I'm going to make a meal for the highest when he returns. He's like, no, we usually share, food together. And she's like, huh? No, that's okay. I'm going to make his own meal. And she's like, well, what's wrong? Like, why can't I share this sandwich? He's like, no, maybe I'll make you another one. She's like, no, it's okay. I'll take this sandwich. We'll just share it. We'll just share it. Now, she doesn't want to poison the highest, but all of a sudden, boom, we go to another scene and Elder Mother is sitting on the porch of the highest's trailer. I don't know how she got there so fast. Y'all let me know. But here comes Ruth with that sandwich. Like, yeah, I'm here to wait for the highest. So when he returns, we're going to share the sandwich. She's like, no, I have his meal already and everything. And she's like, well, it's going to be cold by the time he gets here. She's like, no, it's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. So they keep going back and forth. She's holding on to that sandwich, because she knows it's poison. And she's really like getting under Elder Mother's skin, right? She's like, I gotta calm down. She's like, what? Are you still talking to me in that way? She's like, you need to calm down. I am the wife to be, right? So here we go. The highest comes back. The black van comes back with Daikon and Joan in it. The gates open and yes, Saved by the Bell. Here we go. The highest is back. And your girl, Elder Mother, I never seen her run so fast. She ran over to the highest. Highest, I have a meal all ready for your return. And I've been waiting for you. It's nice and hot and everything. And Rufus like, well, I got a sandwich for you too. Like, we can share the sandwich, right? And, the highest is like, you know what, no offense, Ruth, but I think I'm gonna take this meal right here, So he tells elder mother to go and, prepare it in his, royal chamber trailer, right? Go set it up for me and I'll be in there real soon, right? So she got that sandwich in her hand, like, you sure you don't want the sandwich? Right? So Ruth is like, how was your run? And he's like, well, Ruth, and then she's quick. Of course, she's quick to pick up that he doesn't really want to talk about a run. But she's like, whatever you did today, how was it? Was it good? And everything else like that. So she switches up based off of, him not wanting to divulge any information. Of course, Joan is like, anything else that you need, your highest, anything you need from me? He's like, no, I'm just going to go eat. So then they walk off and Ruth is still holding that poison sandwich, right? So Ruth and Joan talk, and she's like, how did it go? It went well. They got to get more money, but we at this point almost have 2 million. She's like, wow. So she tells Ruth that she found out that the children are fine. And that relieves Ruth because she thought, she didn't know what to think. Didn't know if they were gone, if the highest took them out and everything else like that. But, she also told him that the highest actually has a plan to take them to another place and everything else like that. She's like, wow, that is amazing. Thank you so much. And Ruth's face shows that she is very relieved and she thanks Joan, like sincerely thanks Joan. I really appreciate you telling me that. To let me know that the children are still safe, right? So Joan is like, so what's going on here? She's like, listen, it's a lot. We'll talk later, and Joan goes to get dressed. But again, Ruth doesn't know yet that Joan has that secret account with $1 million and Laura's name on it. I can't wait to see that scene. So here we are with Mac and the sheriff. And Mac is like, man, I think I'm going to talk to Andrew, man. I thought about it. Let me go talk to him. He's like, you sure? Like, you sure? Because they are listening, so you got to be careful or whatever. He's like, yo, man, I'm just saying, like, I really got to go talk to him, at least find out what exactly he said if he's saying I'm down, right? So he tells the sheriff, and then he goes out and tells Cal that he's going to go, talk to Andrew. Again, he has to cover his bases, cover his ground. This way, it doesn't look like if he is down, he's going in there to sneak and talk to Andrew about it. So here goes Mac finally talking to Andrew, right? So he's like, yo, Mac, man, you got to get me out of here, man. He's like, hey, man, you told these guys that I'm down with the Raku? And Andrew's like, nah, man, that's a lie. They lying to you, man. I would never tell him that. Why would I tell him that? And it does make sense why he wouldn't tell him, because Andrew doesn't know that Mac is down with the Raku. Only the FBI know that, right? So again, he's like, hey, man, did you go in there and take out Brian and his wife and all this and that? He's like, yo, man, they're listening, man. I can't admit to that, So really, Mac is trying to get him to confess or whatever the case is. But again, they both don't know. Like, Andrew doesn't know that Mac is down or whatever the case is, right? So Mac is like, all right, man, I'm just going to leave. So here comes Desiree. She walks in and looks at Andrew and said, hey, you want to tell me what happened to Deputy Polk? You remember Deputy Polk with Belinda taking out Deputy Polk? Yeah, he knows all about it. Why? Because he cleaned up that mess for Belinda way back. I believe it was season 2. All right. So here we are. River's telling Ruth, hey, listen, the guards at the door. They're here, they're there. And she's like, oh, they're smart. All right. Yeah, well, we need to make sure it's safe, right? So she's like, listen, take this food. He's like, what is this? Well, Elder Mother Marva made it for me. So he's like, you think this is poison? He's like, hey, she was like, hey, you have nothing else, so you might as well just try it and see what it is, right? Just give it to him, whatever the case is, right? So she's like, listen, go ahead, hurry up before they come back, right? Before they come back, hurry up and do what you got to do. And River's like, I knew I could count on you. River always tries to count on Ruth, and she comes through. Now, here we are with these guys. I mean, Peter got that razor on his boot, and he's trying to cut off the leather straps that got Malcolm locked down in that chair, right? So he's like, I'm tired, man. Like he's like, yeah, do it over here. Like, cut it over here, cut it over there, right? So again, your boy convinced him to cut the straps off so they could try to get up out of there. And your boy Peter's like, yo, man, I'm tired. Here comes River. He comes in the punishment trailer, obviously to give Peter the food. He's like, what are you doing here? Why are you here? Oh, hey, I'm here to bring you some food, And he's like, I don't want you here, whatever. And Malcolm's talking, and River's like, I'm not talking to you, right? I'm not talking to you. Again, I'm not talking to you, Malcolm, right? So your boy River is trying to plead with Peter like, yo, man, I love you. You know what I'm saying? Like, we were supposed to go away together in the whole nine. And your boy Malcolm is listening intently to this conversation. And yeah, it looks like, River's trying to plead with him to not snitch, not say anything, just keep it cool, just be quiet. And he was like, I loved you, like we were supposed to get away, we were supposed to do this and that, whatever. Then you see Malcolm lift up his foot and he's about to do a karate kick right to River's face. Bam! Hits him in the face. What's going on? Then Malcolm gets up and he attacks River. What is happening? We're going to find out next in the next episode of Tyler Perry's Ruthless.